Hello everyone and welcome to Bevan's Bricks. And we're doing the live Hump Day stream. What I'm trying to do is just clean and sort. So nothing exciting today, nothing specific, nothing... Again, nothing exciting. I guess I'm repeating myself, but I really need to get caught up on cleaning things up. I have a bunch of big projects that look like are probably going to be heading my way, and I just really need to get stuff sorted, ripped apart, cleaned, and organized. So that's what I've been doing for the last couple days, which has also caused a serious lack of videos. Oh, people just kill me. And goodbye. Brooks Bricks, how you doing, my friend? Lego Watch has joined as soon as I got the notification, and thank you, Lego Watch. Hello, how you doing, Greg? And who else did I miss from the spammer? Kyle, how are you doing, my friend? ID Snipes, how the heck are you, buddy? Hey, Liam, how you doing? Don't you love it when people just start a stream right out trying to spam? It's like, really? I already nailed him, Kyle. He's in a timeout. Wasn't just me. I think Matt nailed him too. Team effort. But anyway. This was, for those of you that are curious, I will start having a lot more things actually cleaned up, sorted, put away, all that good stuff, and I can start getting back to more normal videos where I'm actually building and doing things. But I've neglected, as Paul, I'm sure, will tell you, I've neglected cleaning for quite a while. And you know what, Kyle? Let's take care of that. Dunbar. I think I can anyway. Let's see. There you go, Kyle. Now you're a moderator too. You are one of my members, and that's what I used to always do, was make all of my members moderators. So welcome to the club, my friend. Never hurts to have a couple extra moderators, especially with the people that like to spam and such. Lego Watch, how you doing? Hopefully, at least I don't see any issues on my end, as I say, so hopefully that wasn't my issue then. And say, Kyle's been a member for over a month now, so I don't mind letting him into the fray. He is part of the funny farm. Bricking it up, how you doing, my friend? He said, yes, I do watch Big Planes. He has some awesome builds. So you're going to try and build a very small... And so that's the thing about Big Planes. I love his build. But oh my God, man. Because he tried to get me... Because I do know him and I do talk to him. He was trying to get me to try and build like some of his planes for my airport. And it's like I told him I would love to, because his planes are freaking awesome. But the problem that I have is his planes are so big that my airport just, it wouldn't look right at all, to be perfectly honest. It would look, my airport would look dumb compared to his airplanes. And it's not because his airplanes are bad, it's just, I tried to keep, because I mean, an airport as it is takes up a ton of space. And just me using, because all the airplanes, and I think that's something a lot of people don't really understand, all the airplanes that are actually in my city are old discontinued airplane sets. So none of them are mocks. If they are mocked, it's a very small tweak or whatever on them. Like the newest plane, I modified that because I didn't want it to be a cargo plane and things of that nature. But again, the point that I was trying to make anyway is I designed my airport to fit with the official Lego set airplanes, and it was just because it made more sense and it looked better, especially trying to compare it to the rest of my city. Because if I tried to, like I said, make it an actual size first, the build, whoops, my phone's on noise. The build the airport anyway that I modeled my airport after, which is where I actually work, is the Detroit Metropolitan North Terminal, and that terminal actually has 36 gates. My airport only has 5. And I mean, yeah, I could make it that, but then my entire table would be nothing but an airport. Not that that would be a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. I like airports. I work at an airport, but I didn't want my entire table to be an airport. Anyway, I kind of got sidetracked. Brett Donahue, hey, how you doing? Good evening, my friend. Brooks Bricks says, just saying hi, LOL. Yeah, you're going to be in Discord trying to get some points. JB says 8-foot plane on a 12-foot runway. Yeah, no, exactly. That's why I did what I did. When my runway, because even like currently how I have my airport built, it's not finished. I have to add, I'm trying to think of what the addition is going to be. It's 1, 2, 3, another 40 inches, I think, is what I'm actually adding to my runway, to the existing runway that's on the table anyway. So when everything's said and done, my runway is going to be 12 feet long. And with using the Lego official airplanes, a 12-foot long runway with their planes actually looks pretty proportional. At least I feel like it does anyway. Paul says, hey, I'm looking at the old landing platform test. Would it be possible to do a complete circle? Yes, actually, you know what? Before I rip this totally apart, I was going to talk about this real quickly and show you guys a few things. I'm gonna get back to that in just a second. But yes, if you did this exact technique, as a matter of fact, I can even show you that it'll make a perfect circle. But I am going to come back to that. Yeah, and yes, my glass is Sweepy and Popeye. All the glasses that I generally drink out of when I'm doing a live stream are usually something from the 80s. And Janet Lutter, hi, how are you? Janet says, I was watching Brick Lover 18, and he mentioned how great Bevan's Bricks is. Just wanted to share this. And thank you so much. I appreciate that, Janet. That was very awesome of you to think. I did not know that he said that, and I really appreciate in hearing that and knowing that. So thank you so much. Kenneth talking to Greg talking to Kenneth, bricking it up. Welcome to Bronze. And you know what I haven't done in a while? So I'm going to do that right now because I don't have any of the newest links. Because I know I haven't posted a link in a while. So bear with me 1 second while I am sharing an invite, or not an invite, but the Discord link. And what it'll be is you'll see the link posted in the community tabs. And I am trying to get it to, there it is. And what it is like I said, you'll be able to go to community tabs and that should physically appear for you. I am posting it right now. If I can get my phone to cooperate. There we go. Now, if you guys go to Discord, you will see that I do have the newest. And you guys are nailing me while I'm not looking. Thank you so much, Paul W. Paul W. just did a $3 donation and says, hope this helps with the cleanup, and it definitely helps, my friend. Kyle Dunbar just did a $10 donation and said, thank you so much. I will accept the responsibility for you and do the best I can for your channel. Love the city and the content. You are a very great friend, and thank you so much, Kyle Dunbar. I totally appreciate that. And welcome to the Funny Farm, Bricking It Up. I just wanted to say the link is now posted. So after this live stream, make sure you click the link, or even during the stream if you want. It doesn't matter. And make sure you get into the Discord group, or the Funny Farm, as we all like to call it anyway. And thank you so much, Brooks Bricks. I totally appreciate that, Matt. Actually, it shows 27 on my screen. Oh, you're talking about likes. And holy cow, you guys are all on a rampage tonight. Brian's just donated $2, and thank you so much, Brian. He said rank. And that's something that's killing me right now. For those of you that are here that are not one of my members, we are having a little competition, so to speak, in my Discord right now to see who can rank the highest. Right now, I'm the highest, but the problem is because I'm live, I'm losing rank because Paul's gaining numbers right now. Let me throw these in the bin. Let me get this put away, and then I'm going to discuss this a little more. Because I know that's something that a lot of people were interested in. It's funny, just this little bit of cleanup is actually going to give me a bunch of parts back in my bins, which is a good thing. I'm not complaining on that. That's why I need to stop and smell the roses, so to speak, I guess you could say. And I need to do this more often. I jump around on too many projects. Part of that is I have a focus problem. Let me get these out of the way. And thank you so much, Kevin. That was awesome of you. Paul W. says a little competition. Man, that was an understatement. What's a little competition? Let me shove that pile out of the way. But, like I said, before I total, I'm going to rip it apart anyway a little bit. Because I have to, because I want to make it a complete circle. But this was what I actually made, if I can get it to come out. This was what I actually originally made for the Avengers Tower. And then I ended up going a different route altogether, so I don't need it now. So that's another one of the mini projects that I started and just kind of threw to the side. And Lego Jathan says, how do you clean your Lego buildings? Actually, and you know what? I'll grab it right now, just because, and say hello to my little friend. I get that asked all the time, and I keep meaning to make a video on it. 1 second. And the reason I want to make a video on it is so I can show people how it works and what it is. What this physically is, this is a car detailing kit. Just jump subjects for just a minute, guys. And it comes with all the pieces you see here, different attachments for different, and why ain't that coming apart? I must have shoved it together too hard. But anyway, different attachments for different style vacuum cleaners. This is one of the nozzle that actually fits my vacuum cleaner, is this particular attachment. But anyway, you find whichever hose fits your vacuum cleaner the best, and then you shove that in there, and the other end goes into this tube. Now, what makes this unique, and I'm hoping you can see it anyway, if you look inside, you can control the flow, which I always leave it open. I thought I could turn it more than that. Apparently not, but my point with showing you this is the end that you actually run over your Lego. So if I was to take my vacuum cleaner and then I can do this, and then the brush physically goes around your Lego studs and such, and it sucks any and everything up, because this is breaking the dust loose as you're going along, and then it gets sucked right up the tube. And if you ever make a mistake and accidentally suck up a Lego piece, that is what this makes useful about. Because by having that open, the Lego piece will only come into here, and then it usually, because you got all the air coming through here as well, it just kind of juggles around in here. At least that's what always works for me anyway. And then again, you have all these different attachments that you can attach to make this piece longer, shorter, whatever you want. And then I always just put that suction piece on it. And then you even have, I mean, it's like if I'm sure you've all played with your vacuums in your house. We all have this little tool. Well, you have this little tiny tool that you put in this, and it's for getting into very small spaces and very small cracks. But this kit is what I actually use to clean my Lego with. And like I said, I keep meaning to make a video, and I know I keep screwing up and forgetting to do it. But I will try and get a link for this. This is something you can get on Amazon. I got it on Amazon. At least I'm assuming it's still available on Amazon anyway. But like I said, it's actually a dual purpose, because if you're somebody like me, for example, I always used to detail my cars very heavily, and that is what the intention of this is for. But it works great for cleaning Lego too. And I need to clean my train station, and that's what I've been meaning to do, is actually make a video showing you how well this particular tool will work and clean my train station at the same time in the same process. But like I said, I will be. I'm at least going to post a link for this, so if anybody else is wanting to buy it even before you see how I use it, I'll post a link for this in the community tabs, hopefully after the stream or tomorrow. But I will be making a video on it at some point, and like I said, I keep meaning to, and I keep forgetting to. But it really is a great tool. I've never, that I'm aware of anyway, I've never actually lost a Lego piece as long as I'm using this anyway. And trying to come back to the comments, Aaron DeLalo, hey, how you doing? Thank you so much for signing in. I'm doing great. I hope you're doing good as well. Kyle Dunbar says he uses a Swiffer and a paintbrush. A Swiffer and a paintbrush. That's still a good use. Paintbrushes are really good for loosening it up because you can just keep your vacuum cleaner right there next to it and just kind of run the paintbrush over it. So that is another really great way to do it. I absolutely agree with you. JB says, I just put an old nylon stocking in between. That's another great way to do it, absolutely. I like that thought because I've thought that myself. The only thing that I had wondered about that though, JB, is if you were to actually do that, does it get clogged up if you use it for a long period of time? Because I had thought that, like, I actually wasn't thinking a nylon hose. That's the best way to go. I was thinking like a sock or some type of piece of cloth, but I do like your idea, just using some pantyhose. Dave West, how are you, my friend? Anyway, though, back to what I was going to start talking about. Let me finish splitting this in half because I should have enough pieces here. What I physically did to try and make this super strong is I built it in layers. That's why it's going to take me a minute to kind of pull apart. But there's a couple different things that are important to note about, and it doesn't matter what wedge piece we're talking about. You can build any wedge piece, whether it be, because these particular wedge pieces are the 3x8s. You can use the 4x6. You can use these. It doesn't matter. Any of them will work if you want to build in a circle. It really just quite simply depends on the size of the circle that you're wanting to do, and that's pretty much the end of the story. But any wedge piece will help you build. I'm trying to get this apart enough so I can make it make more sense. But you got to use tons of this little hinge piece is the big trick. And then the other thing is you have to add a plate to the end of the wedge plate. And I'll show you what I mean here after I can get this all yanked apart. So I want to make a full circle is why I want to get this all apart. Let's see here. If we get all those, I'm not even going to worry about the color of the hinged pieces. I just need a whole bunch of those. And you are more than welcome, Lego Jathan. Hope I said that right. Yes, Hulk smashing, definitely. Lego Joe, hey, how you doing? That's a good question, JB. Do you have to cut a new piece of nylon hose every time you clean, or is it able to be cleaned out? Is what he's actually asking as far as using the other technique. See, I had 3 layers of these to make what I actually had here, and it was extremely strong when I was done. And this is why I was saying I need to clean. I need to pull stuff apart because I've just got way too many things sitting in idle. Come out, there you go. So that should be enough of them now. Let's get a bunch of the hinges in a pile so I can grab them as I go. And again, I'm not worried about color because this is just an example. But anyway, you always got to take, because like this would be considered a right, so you always got to take a left and a right. So you want to take a left and a right like this, and then how I physically do it, actually I need that piece first. Let's start in the middle, and you want to attach the center first, and then what we're going to do, if I remember correctly, it's this one that I want to go to, and now you want to put, because you always want, let me show you away from this, the seams when you're putting them together to make a circle. And I guess I should have put my camera over here, so you know what, we'll leave it over there. When you're building this in a circle, you always put the two butts together, and then you take the hinge plate and you put it towards the sloped side. I hope you can see that. It's because this piece is what is right there. And then you're always going to put the seam piece, the wedged portion of the slope, together. So the next piece is going to go right here. And then we're going to keep going with that pattern. And you don't have to do it at the very end to hold the center pieces together. We can actually even do it just, let's start it up here. It'll make it simpler. But you just keep coming around. So now we got to go again, where you put the plate, you go the two pieces back to back, and then you take a hinge, and then you go two pieces front to front. And then we go back to back, and then again front to front with the hinge plate. And then as you do that, and you'll see as I go along anyway, it's going to take me a while to get all these together because this makes a rather large circle. But you'll see as I go along that you'll end up with a huge circle after I get there. And I am... Then I'll have to show you something else about this particular technique, because you can change the degrees of the opening for the ends just by changing the location of your hinge plate as well. But I want to show you the circle first before we go into all that. So let's put that guy there. Didn't I have... Color don't matter. I got to keep telling myself that. Again, back to back with the plate, wedge to wedge on the front. And again, this works with any sloped piece, because I just want to show you that this and this would make a perfect circle also, but that is just the shorter piece. You just have that little gap there, but you can fill that with some plates. Anyway, let's finish getting this guy together. Back to back, wedge to wedge, back to back, wedge to wedge. And you just repeat that process until you get all the way around, back to back. I hope that's a good camera angle. Wedge to wedge. I'm making Captain America's shield. You know, this would actually work for that. You could put the star right in the middle. Back to back, or I'm sorry, wedge to wedge. Back to back, wedge to wedge, back to back, wedge to wedge, okay, good. Thank you, Greg, for answering that for me. Not too much. How you doing, Hoseas? I hope I said your name right. I apologize if I batched it up. Can you put a plate between the wedge plates to make each section longer? Are you talking about out here? Hold on, because I'm going to discuss how you're going to make it longer here in a minute to make it work. I wanna show you though that this does make a full circle first. So I know that was a question a bunch of people were asking. I just want to prove that it actually does. And again, I'm not worried about the color, so back to back, wedge to wedge, back to back, wedge to wedge, coating. So, but anyway, as you can see, that makes a complete circle. Now, mind you, I am not trying to make it, you know, strong at the moment. Simply to strengthen it up, you can sit here and you can come around and you can place plates all the way around it. Another thing you can actually do is you can just put the wedges, the hinge plates all around the inside, and then you can plate it right over top of that as well. So that's another way to do it, is just by putting another row of the hinges. But the point is, I just wanted to show you it does make a perfect circle. And if you do this in layers, this is an extremely outrageously strong circle. And yes, it is one very small Captain America shield. Am I buffering? Let's say I don't show any problems on my end. I hope I'm not buffering anyway. Anyway, Rob says that would make for a really cool shaped building. And I actually do intend on making a building round like this. And this is the technique that I will actually be using when I go to do that. But here's the other thing now though, because the studs I'm trying to show you are actually butted against each other because you got the wedge plates together. So what you can physically do, and it takes a lot more pieces, but you can take that piece out and then you have to tile around it. Obviously you would want to use a corresponding color, but just to give you an example, let me put those there, and I should have, there's one. I just wanted to show you that these will actually line right up by stepping them out one. So using this particular technique, if you want a perfectly round building, what you would physically do, and I'm hoping you can see it because that you have a very slight gap, and mind you, it wouldn't be as bad as it is because I'm holding it up, but it does hold it together really well. It holds it together well enough that it would look good for a building. But the thing is I mean, obviously, unless you want a yellow building, you wouldn't want to keep that yellow. And what you do though is, with that being out, what you have to do is you have to use a 1x1 on either side of whatever color you put here. So for example, if you were going to make the building white, you would use white plates. You'd put a 1x1 outside of that, and then you put a 1x6 underneath it. And then you just keep increasing the size of your building, and it'll give you a really, really, really cool shaped round building. But let's say you're not doing a perfectly round building and you don't want to have to expand it out a little bit. There's another little trick you can do. And now now that you know that this will be a perfect circle, I'm gonna take half the circle away so I can show you what I mean by the next thing. So let's say if you're wanting to make this a half a building, what you have to do is you're gonna end up starting with a flat piece, straight, and then you're gonna end with the slope. But as you're coming along, if you don't want to have to extend it out, there's a real simple trick that adds a little bit more of a degree and more of a gap to the plate. And all that simply is by relocating your hinged plate here, you can change the degree of how close these are. Because if you keep it right here, obviously it keeps it right up together. But if you go back one, or no, I'm sorry, if you go forward, maybe I am, no, if you go back one, it opens at 5 degrees, if I remember correctly. Please don't ask me to try and verify that. I'm not positive. But, or maybe it's 10 degrees, but for everything that you go back, you can change the degree of the opening, and then you don't have to do the step back, because now that'll actually let you do that. And I thought Let me get some of this off. Because there was a specific, or maybe I didn't know. There's one of these that is specific that it'll hold it better, and I'm trying to remember which one it was. Or is it that one? No, it's not that one. And that's just getting further apart. I don't remember anymore. I'd have to play with it for a while. But there is a way that you can actually open that up by 1 degree. Maybe it is you have to do it on the back. Let me try that. Like I said, it's been a while since I've actually done this. Won't go there. That won't go there. That's still too far. That's way too far. Maybe that was it. And then that should allow you, let me double check it. That still ain't right because it's pinching just a little bit. I don't remember. There was another trick I wanted to show you guys and I don't remember it. But anyway, you get the idea for that particular technique. Now, when you start looking at the smaller ones, because you have that little flat piece on the end of it, you can take and put your window pieces right on it like this. And then what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to put like a block, and do I have any handy? That's not what I was looking for. If you're wanting it to be a building anyway. The easiest way is to just step it out, but I'm trying to remember, because this wasn't something I was planning, so I'm kind of on the spot here. Actually, I guess you don't, because you just step it in one, and that gives you a ledge. I thought, and like I said, I didn't have a chance to play with it off screen, but I thought you could put, it was round bricks or something, and I'm trying to remember what the heck it was. Let me try this. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. It's got to be a plate though. Hold on. That's it. And then where's the round pieces? I could have swore I just had them. Oh, they're there. And then you can hide the gap that way. So again, if you're going to be using this particular plate, it would be, let's say we're doing it in a white building, so this would be white. As long as you use the white round in the center, it'll actually fill it in. But what you have to do is you have to step. So this is going to be 7 studs because this is 6 studs. You're going to have to do a 4 and a 3, a 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, and then run the round pillars up in the center. And then that'll still give you the round shape of the building as well. And hey, how you doing, Varen? Glad to see you. Legends Builds, hello, hello. Paul W says, why not have a piano? I'm sorry, I must have missed a comment somewhere. And yes, I know, so much for cleaning. Well, wasn't it you that asked me about how to build it in a round shape? I was just trying to show everybody. Paul W says, which of the new speed champions are you most looking forward to? Mine is the Corvette. You know, honestly, most of the new speed champions, correct me if I'm wrong, I thought they were all 8 wide. And even though I do like the 8 wide cars, I can't use them in my city. So if I bought them, it's going to be for parts. So it's really not as big a deal for me. Because like I said, again, I want to have the cars for my city, and to me, because this was one car I've already robbed some parts off of, and I think it's an awesome looking build. Don't get me wrong, I really do like these, but being that it's 8 wide, it doesn't work in the city. I mean, they look awesome, but it just doesn't work in the city. To me, the best cars are the 6 wide, and this was, I forgot what set it was I built this from. This was the car that was flaming, and I ended up lowering the rear end and made it look more like Dom's car as opposed to the original hot rod it looked like. But to me, this is the perfect width car for a city, is the 6 wide, as opposed to having the 8 wide. Just kind of my feeling on it, and those are actually some, well, I'm going to keep the black car, but that white car is going to get pulled apart. That is the GTR, isn't it? Or am I wrong on that, Paul? And hey, how you doing, Scott's Blocks? And Greg says if you like... Oh, thank you so much for plugging the channel there, Greg. Anyway, is there any other questions about building round shapes or anything? I think I kind of covered the main thing I was trying to focus on. Dave West said, would love to hang out longer, but got to get to bed. Take care, all, and we'll watch you later. Enjoy the stream. And thank you so much for signing in, Dave. And I hope you have a good night and get a good night's sleep, my friend. Paul W. says, I thought you liked to Bevanize things. Well, not with the... It doesn't match the proportions of my streets, though. I like to go big on some things, not everything, though. And hey, PPP. Paul says, no more questions, start cleaning. So that was what I was going for anyway. So I need to get... That's what's nice about like a lot of this stuff. It's really just a lot of plates, and it's a matter of just popping them apart and getting them into the correct piles. But I have, and I just, what's up here? Well, I can show you, this was, like these, for those of you that have been around my channel for a long time, you'll know that I did the build competition with Charm City Bricks, and this was stuff that I was roughing up during the live stream. And I ended up going a different route with my roof. That's what I mean by I have a ton of stuff that I've just kind of built, thrown together, and then I just kind of throw it aside, trying to get it out of the way. And I've probably been doing that for at least the last 6 months to a year, to the point that it's kind of gotten to be a little overwhelming out in the Lego barn. And this is predominantly what I've been doing every day for a while, is just kind of ripping stuff apart, trying to get it put away, and all that good stuff. Do I have the 6 wide McLaren? I should have it. I think it's actually in my city, but I thought I had it anyway. And yes, Nathan, that was the Ghost Rider set that I modified, if you were talking about this car here. And I'm going to end up placing that in my city, because the original Ghost Rider, it had the really big fat rear tires, and then you could put the flames and stuff on it to modify it, so on and so forth. And to me, even though it's a cool build, don't get me wrong, I wanted it to be something though that I could physically use in my city, and that was why I modified it modified it to look the way that it does, so that way I can actually get it placed into my city. Yes, it was. It was every bit. Well, it was last Thanksgiving is when that competition was. So that just goes to show you. That's why I mean because I got in the mode there for quite a while where it was just hurry up and try and figure out the next video I could make. And it's I need to get my drawer over here so I can scoop that in. It's made for a huge mess, as you can see. But yes, it was however long. Let's see. This would be November, December, January, February, March, April, May. So yeah, 7 months. So yeah, it was 7 months ago. Yes, it has been a while since I picked up. Let me get this scooped in. But that is my problem right now, is I need to clean up the last 6 months, 8 months worth of projects. And then that way I'm not constantly searching for parts that I actually have. those 1 by... Those are 1 by 8s. And again, like I tell everybody, because I do want to point this out again, if you want to buy wedges that are cheap, this particular wedge plate right there, which is the 3 by 8, is the cheapest wedge plate you can buy. Typically, you're going to find them for like 3 cents on Bricklink because most people don't want them. And what's great about them is they are actually perfect for, as I just showed, doing a round building. But they're also really awesome for, crap, I forgot these. They're also really awesome, though, for ballasting your train track. That's another really great way to ballast your train track, is quite simply buying a ton of those. And then it gives you a natural rock formation around your train track as well. Hold this. The Wonder Lame says, with that being said, as you can see, actually, is that being a smart aleck, the Wonder Llama? Because you can easily get kicked off here too. You know, I'm really tired of people in their smart ass comments wanting to correct me and how I talk. If you don't like something, just leave. You don't have to watch my channel. You don't even have to be here. That's the kind of stuff that actually ticks me off and makes me not want to stream, though, because I read the crap all the time in my comments, and I don't want to have to hear about it in a live stream. So, goodbye, Mr. Wonder Llama. Anyway, back to everybody else. You're absolutely right, Brick Locket. Happy wife, happy life. Exactly. What's wrong with sounding like Paul? But that is the kind of dumb comments that I hear that actually ticks me right the heck off. Oh, I'm calm. I'm just tired of people's stupidity, is what it boils down to. Well, if I had the button, I would ban him right now. But I don't think you can ban from a live stream. Do I sterilize my bricks? Yes. What I typically do is, let me rephrase that. I sterilize them when I buy used, because generally they were kids, so they're going to be kind of messy, snotty, things of that. Hey, how you doing, John, the Lego Fire Guy? But what I will do is I will wash them in a bin, or I shouldn't say bin, in the wash basin. And all I do is I just fill my wash tub basin. I'll fill it with laundry detergent or Dawn or whatever you want to fill it with to kind of clean them. And then you just kind of let it sit there for like a good hour, maybe 2. Swish it around a little bit every now and then. Some people I know, and I've never done this, so I can't attest to it, but some people will actually put it in a laundry basket. What I mean by, or not a laundry basket, but for lack of a better word, a pillowcase, and they will throw it in their washing machine. I've always been afraid of trying that particular method myself, but what I was going to say, though, is swish it around for a while, drain the tub, fill it back up with water, drain it again, because you want to get the soap residue off of the Lego. And then what you can do is take a can of Lysol after it's dried, because after I fill it, rinse it, fill it, rinse it, I'll take it all out, put it in a salad spinner to kind of get the water out of the Lego pieces. Because what'll happen is a lot of the water will get up into the anti-stud pieces of the plates or the bricks or whatever else. And then you want to use the salad spinner to kind of get the water out of it. But then what I do is I'll take it and lay it on a beach towel on my living room floor and turn on the ceiling fans. And once I do that, generally within 30 minutes to an hour, it'll actually be clean. Or not clean, but dry. And then you can take it and spray it with Lysol, and then you can dump it in. Like, I have a pile over on the floor that I was starting to clean the other day, and it's still sitting over there. I need to actually finish sorting it out. It's all been cleaned and sanitized. I just haven't put it away. But just to kind of, I don't know if you can see it or not, if I was to actually take it up and, oh, right over there though, behind that bucket is a bunch of stuff that I actually need to sort and organize and clean. Varen says, here's a quote that'll cheer you up. Happiness is the best revenge because nothing drives your enemies more insane than seeing you smile and living a good life. And you know, Varen, there's a lot of truth to that because I've actually had people tell me that I laugh too much and I smile too much in my videos too. And that's what I mean by I'm really tired of people that want to correct me on a lot of the things that I do. I know what I do and I know what I am, but it's called, if you want to act that way, leave. Because I'm tired of just ignoring those kind of comments. But you are absolutely right, Varen. And good evening, Christian Harry. Greg says, new Amazon purchase. I missed a comment somewhere. Yeah, cats want to walk right across your keyboard. Type out a nice, fun message for you. Bricklock, Illinois says, you just hired Paul. So much for cleaning. I'm sure you can get him to work cheap. Yeah, actually, I think he would work for Lego. Brickman just donated $20, and thank you so much, Brickman. He says, just wanted to say thank you for your inspirational videos. Because of you, I bought the new roads and started converting to mills, and that's awesome to hear. They are really a lot better than, because I will be the first to admit that when I first started out and when I first saw them, I was not happy with them at all. I thought originally the way that the pictures and stuff that I saw, I thought the new road plates were going to be built on a 16 by 16 plate, and then I don't have any up here. And then I thought it was going to be like, again, this is the pictures that I saw. It was going to be on a 16 by 16 plate, and it was going to have 4 of the 6 by 6 tiles on top of it. And then it would have the 2 by 4s down the middle, and then it would have 1 by 8s on the outer edge. Was the original pictures that I'd kind of saw. Mind you, it was somebody else's rendering that actually saw the official pictures, and that's what I was kind of expecting to see. So when I saw it come out and it was actually a full plate, a full-size plate that was 2 plates thick, it really disgusted me and it really upset me, and I was just like, oh man, this stuff's garbage and I don't ever want to use it. But I thought, you know what, I prematurely kind of judged that part, and I thought, because I was harshly judging that particular part, I thought, you know what, I'm going to come out, I'm going to buy as many as I can, and I'm going to try and figure out as many unique ways as I can to try and use that piece, because I don't think it's a problem with the piece as much as it's like most of us were afraid of change. And once I kind of got that mindset and I started playing with it and I started, messing with it, figuring out different techniques, different rules, different things I could do, I realized that, hey, this is actually a pretty usable piece. I don't know if you saw it or not. Let me put this away and I'll show you. And I don't have the interior piece, but I did a live stream the other day, and we can dummy it just for the sake of a video anyway. But anyway, you could put a plate. This is building it upside down, trying to show you. But if you do that, and then you put your ceiling details on the top of it, which is what I'm trying to show, and then you can keep putting the plates back and forth, now you can actually have a building where you can tile out the floor, and then you can actually have crown moldings and a finished ceiling with tiles and the whole 9 yards. Reasonably cheap, because these pieces are only $2.20 on Bricks and Pieces. And something else I do want to point out is recently, I don't know if anybody else has seen it. I know the pictures have been floating around for a while, so I know most people have probably seen it. This particular piece, all they've ever offered it in was dark blue gray. And what they're doing now, if you've seen the new, I'm trying to think of what they're called, it's not zoo, farm. If you've seen the new City Farm sets, they actually have a tan version of this, and trying to remember, I think it's a green version. So the point that I'm trying to make anyway is if you wanted to build a building with this particular technique where you have the crown moldings and all that kind of stuff, from the looks of it, because they've already got 2 more new colors coming out that I'm aware of anyway, you'll be able to actually build this and have different colored ceilings. It won't always be dark blue gray. What I'm hoping is that maybe they'll come out with even a white one for snow or whatever, and that would be really cool, because as everybody knows, when you have a house, typically your ceiling is going to be white, because normally you'll paint your ceiling white and then you'll do different colors on the walls and things of that nature. So to me, that's just another one of the really unique and cool uses that you can use the road plates for. Now, keep in mind, I actually built my walls around the exterior of the plate, as you can see here, and this is one of the many things I'm going to be tearing apart here shortly. But you can build your walls on the exterior, and then that hides the plate, or you can physically build it right on top of it, and then you'll be able to see the plate. So there's 2 different ways that you can do it. But this will also make a building very easily modular. Trying to go back to some more of the comments. Hey, how you doing, Alex K? I'm sorry if I didn't say hi to you already. And thank you so much for plugging the channels, guys. John Garrett says we all kind of did. Then we started playing with them, and exactly. And like I said, I kind of made it a personal... well, I didn't see any lag, but say normally I see an alarm. I kind of made it a personal mission, I guess would be a good way to put it, to make good on the part, because I've never seen a Lego part that I haven't seen a good use for. There's a lot of pieces that people don't want or don't want to use, and typically what I end up doing, I'll give you a prime example. This piece right here, this is another one of those parts that you're going to find in dark blue gray, white, blue, if I'm not mistaken, I think are the 3 most common colors. But my point in bringing this particular part up to you is if you go back and you look at my highway video, all the beam work that's on the bottom of the highway is done with these particular pieces. And the reason that I did that is, number one, it gives you that kind of concrete beam underneath the highway look. But number 2, it's because it's a super cheap part, so you can buy a ton of these for next to nothing. If I remember correctly, I bought, it was 400 of them for my highway to do the entire underside of it with these. And I think I spent 2 cents a piece for them. The shipping is what actually cost me, because I think the shipping was like around $10. But I mean, it was a massive bag of nothing but white pieces like this. But that's another thing that I always try to tell people and try and take into consideration is when you're looking at certain pieces, and that's what I specifically try to do anyway. If I find a piece that's really cheap, I try to figure out a unique use for it, just because, number one, it's cheap, and Lego's never cheap. But anytime you find a piece that's cheap, it's like, okay, let's figure out how we can use this and make it take up a lot of space and use all the pieces in a mock. So Bill Frog says, can you make the building whiter? Yes, you can. And that is another question that I've actually had several people ask in regards to if you're going to be building with these plates, because the specific question actually is that how do you put stairs in it? Because everybody always wants to add stairwells and whatnot, and I totally get that, because you want it to look decorative. All you would simply do is for each floor, what it is you wouldn't have any type of flooring inside of there in between the stairs. So you're basically building a pocket, so to speak. And I thought I had a piece that I could show you, but I don't. But all you would have to do, quite simply, like I said, is typically when you're going to go with a big building, what I will do is I'll go with a stairs that's 3 wide. And the reason that I do that is because I don't want to take up a lot of space, and I want to be able to have an up and a down, and you want to have a space to walk around it. So what I would end up doing, me personally anyway, this is just how I would look at it and attack the situation. If I wanted a stair in this particular building here, what I would do is I would extend the side over, the inside dimension anyway, by 6. And then that way I would make this wall that's already existing, the interior wall, and this would be a door to go, say, into the apartment. And then I would have a 6 stud gap, and where is the piece? And there we go. So I would have a 6 stud gap between that and then another exterior wall. And the reason that I would do that is I would make my stair 3 wide to be able to go up and down between the floors. And then I would make the hallway 3 wide. So at the foot, or the base and the top of each stairs, if you will, would actually be a 6 by, depending on how many floors you put in the building, typically you're going to have like a 6 by 4 landing though on every floor. And then that way you can still build with this. You can still use this as your floor, but this is going to be an open space, because all you're going to be doing is you're going to be taking, for example, it would either be a 4 by 8 at each side of the landing, or a 4 by 6, or so on and so forth. And then that would give you your landing to be able to go between the stairs. And then it makes the building wider, and you don't have to have any more floor space because you're just using standard plates to expand that floor. JB says, if I did my math correctly, my Lego collection is the same price as a monthly order for yeah, I know, I have a ton. I have an insane amount. Tav was saying, I'm assuming you're talking about you use this piece for a roof, and that is another great way to use it. Sean Bauer, hey, how you doing? And thank you so much for signing in. Tav talking to Sean, you guys talking to each other. John Garrett says, question about the Lego highway. If you extend the airport runway, is it going to, in theory, cross the one runway, in theory, for the highway turns? And that is part of the reason why I tried to make sure, because originally I was going to push the highway kind of into my city a little bit more. And the way that I was looking at it, yes, it would have. The way that I'm looking at it now, I'm borderline on that. I was trying to get it as close to the corner of the table as I could to keep it away from the airport, because I don't want to line it up in a manner and fashion that it's actually, when I put the tables up, that I feel like I'm going to have to put another half of a freeway on this end of the table. So that is something that I have considered and thought about, John. I'm hoping it doesn't intersect. If it does, I may end up relocating it. Where I currently have it, though, I kind of like where it's at, and I wanted it, I mean, because to be perfectly honest, building it on a 45-degree angle, it actually is making a lot of things a lot more difficult than they really should be for building, both for the road, and it's going to also make difficult for building the buildings around the perimeter of that highway. But my thing is most cities are always done, and thank you so much for joining the membership. And John Hargrove. And don't forget to click I thought you were already a member. But don't forget to click in the community tabs. Don't forget to click your link so you can get into the Discord group, John. But anyway, what I was saying with the highway is to me, anytime you generally see a Lego build, Lego City, and things of that nature, I always, in my opinion anyway, all the roads are always perfectly square. It's always, road, street, road, so on and so forth. And it gives you kind of a checkerboard pattern for the city. And I wanted to kind of break that up a little bit, and that's why I decided to do the 45-degree angle both on the highway and then under one of the crossroads. And that's also why I have the spacing done the way that I have on the highway and the pillars done the way that I have on the highway. Because that's another really common question I keep getting asked is, why don't I add another pillar to the center, and a few other questions along that line. And I may end up doing it just to try and appease some people's ideas, but in essence, the reason that I didn't do it is because it would interfere with all the roads that I'm trying to interlock and intertwine with the base of the highway. And doing it on a 45 is actually causing a lot of really unique, difficult ways of having to try and fill and build stuff out. And again, I thought he was already a member, so he upgraded. That makes more sense. And welcome to Silver, John. I appreciate that. John the Lego Fire Guy says, that was picking my brain. I saw the angles while you were filming once. And like I said, it actually, having him on a 45 or a 90 degree, actually, I guess is what it is. But having it on an angle like that is actually causing a lot of unique, difficult things that I'm going to have to do to alter it and things of that nature for building around it. But I'm hoping anyway it's going to make for a very interesting looking finished product. At least that's the plan anyway. And Bricks says John is upping his Funny Farm membership. And yes, he is, because we've been going at it all day today pretty much. Guys are talking to each other. I'm trying to catch up. Alex says, I've been a member for 2 months now. It's my second anniversary of being a member. And yes, you have. And thank you so much for your support, Alec. I really do appreciate it, buddy. Brick Sargent says, welcome to John. John Garrett says, challenge accepted. Absolutely. That's how I generally try to look at all my builds. I try to look at kind of what is it everybody else has going on, things type of nature, and why don't they do it. And then I try to kind of look at that and think, well, how can I do it? And how can we try and do it? And I just kind of jump at it and try it and do it. Let me get some of these parts put away that are in my hands. Give me 1 second. We don't want Paul cracking the whip. And I got a whole bunch of these hinge plates that I need to gather together. It's funny, I don't remember what it was. I was building something the other day though, and I was looking for hinge plates, and then I thought, oh yeah, they're over there, and that's again part of the reason why I'm trying to tear a lot of this down. So that way I can get stuff back in my inventory where I can physically use it. I'm sorry, Grandpa Ewan Builds, you said I missed your question. And you are more than welcome, Alex. It wouldn't surprise me at all if he's in there typing every so often. And yes, you do always crack the whip, Paul, and I appreciate it. I'm still waiting for Grandpa Ewan's builds to see what his question was, because I totally missed it. TZR Dank says, sorting a bunch right now. Nice Wednesday evening activity. Absolutely. I've got a month's worth of sorting actually to do it. Even if I could get half of what, not just what's here, but if I could get half of the stuff that I want to get put away, because I got 2 piles on my floor. I got a pile over here. Papa's Bricks. Did I get your convention center build? I went to, the last time I went to the P.O. box, it didn't have anything in it. I made a bunch of videos one day. I'm trying to remember when it was. It was either last Saturday or the Saturday before I made a bunch, but I don't remember it being any of your build. So no, I haven't got it because you did the oil pump, so I have not got your build yet. I'll have to check my P.O. box for you, Papa's Bricks. I'm going to try and check it this Saturday if I get a chance. Sean Bauer says sorting is never, you're absolutely right. And Steve Divany, hey, how you doing, my friend? Paul W. says, by the way, Walmart sucks. They never have my... And I'm with you. I have been looking for the last 2 months, and I can't, because I'm looking for the 3-drawer bins like what's behind me over here, or actually I guess what would be behind me that way looking at the camera, and I can't find them anywhere. Myers has them, but the problem is Myers is also asking almost twice as much as what Walmart asks for them, because the bins that I use typically are $6.99 a piece if I'm not mistaken, and at Myers they're $11.99, and I just, because I know that whenever Myers finally stocks them anyway, I know they're so much cheaper, it's like I'm not buying them. Mike McDonald says, I'm here, but probably almost over, eh? Yeah, actually, I'm going to, because it's 9:30 now, I'm actually about to end here in about 2 more minutes. Paul W. says, the day you are done sorting is the day you never have stopped. It is probably the day I stop buying Lego. You're absolutely right. Scott's talking to each other. Grandpa Ewan's build says, how's it going with the Avengers Rough? Anything new on your streetlights? As far as the Avengers Tower, I've been trying to get a bunch of the wiring done, so I actually had to disassemble a bunch of the building, and that's kind of why because I kind of took 2 steps back instead of 1 step forward. Oh, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. In order to incorporate a lot of the lighting and stuff that I'm doing, I had to kind of take 2 steps back and rip a bunch of it apart. I actually haven't had a chance to work on it in the last few days. So as far as physical progress that you would actually notice, no, I haven't made any physical progress on it, but it is something that I am trying to work on here and there. As far as my street lights, I finally designed a street light that I'm very happy with, and I'm going to be using Blinky Bricks. If I can find the dummy that I had setting to my side, there he is. This is the design. If I can get it to come out anyway. Let me actually put this away first. Hold on. It's falling, and I will come right back to that. But this is the design that I'm going with. And I don't know. Let me get this plugged in. Just to show you, this was the design I was finally happy with. I'm trying to get it up into the camera. Forgot I readjusted it. And I'm going to start using these now. And I feel like it's a really good look. So this is what I'm going to be replacing all the streetlights in my city with. What I'm actually doing, let me unplug that just so you can see it. What I'm actually doing is, because the wire, my old street lamps, the way that it was ran, the wire had to be wrapped around the exterior of the light pole, and it looked crappy. I didn't like having the exposed wire. So what I actually did is I made a fatter base, fatter pole, if you will. Came across the top, come out, and come down, and this is that minifig, it's a minifig accessory. I forget the part number, and I know that Greg, if he's still in here, or Mike, and I see Greg is still in here, would probably get that number for me really quick. But I know, like I said, I know it's a minifigure accessory. But anyway, what you do with that particular piece, or reason I like that particular piece, is because with it being an anti-stud, number one, it's a stud with a recess in it, and it hides the LED very well. So I'm not worried about crushing the LED or damaging the LED. But the other thing that I really liked about it is when you're looking at it, trying to get my hand to work with the camera here. When you're looking at it from the front, it gives you more of a natural, like, glass type bulb on it. And to me, it actually appears as though it is giving more disbursement of light, because I did 2 different versions, and I don't know where I have the other version, but I didn't like it anyway. This was my original street lights, and like I said, that with that I had to wrap the wire around them. But point I was trying to get at is, and I'm trying to not blind you on the camera with it, by having that piece in there, and again, this is another one of those parts that's extremely cheap because nobody wants them. So you can find them for a couple pennies anywhere, like 2 cents, 3 cents a piece at most. And again, to me, it gives it a more natural glass look and a more natural. It feels like it spreads the light better. When I actually turned the lights off and I did the 2 different versions side by side, it felt like these were actually illuminating more of the space around the pole. And that's why I decided I was going to go ahead and go with that. So anyway, I hope that answers your question. Back to Alex. He says, I might be going a bit far in the future, but are you thinking of doing a stream on Wednesday, June 2nd this year? I try to do a stream every weekend, so I'm going to say yes, or every Wednesday, Alex, so I'm going to say yes, I'll be doing it. I can't promise you, but I should be doing it on Wednesday the 2nd, yes. Because Wednesday, the Hump Day streams are usually my thing, I guess we could say. And happy birthday to, I'm assuming, your wife, Mike McDonald. At least I hope, because I just kind of half caught a comment, and I apologize for missing the original comment. Greg says he loves the design, and thank you, buddy. Paul W. says, wow, those lights look really good, and thank you, Paul. Mike was saying, nice street light. Doodle-doo, I think I caught up on comments. Kyle, can I put the street lamp on rebrickable? It's actually, that is actually too small to sell, but what I can do is I can tell you it's a very simple build. I'll probably try and make a video for it, but all it simply is is this piece here. And then you take, and I don't want to rip that apart because my light's through it, but I'll just show you how many of them you need. You take one of these. And I will have to look up the part number, but it would be 4 of this piece. I just grabbed the first one I can find. This is a Technic connector, but you take this and then you put the connecting pin inside of it. The first piece, you do not put nothing in because it'll actually go on top of your base, and then you just stack them up until you get to the height you want, and then you put the pole base off to the side. I will try to make instructions for this and post them and make them free to download if that helps. But as far as selling them or anything, it's way too small of a mock or anything to sell. They got to have like at least 100 pieces or so. But if I get around to it, I will try and make this for something to just to download to help you if it helps, or I'll try and make a video about it. But like I said, it's a very, very simple build. JB says that street light is lit. He'll see himself out. Christian Harry says, just a quick question. How do you find out if Amazon has a special sale on Lego sets? Usually the quickest way to, let me read Grandpa Owen first. He says, so the message I wrote to you with some tubes from Millennium Falcon is no good. The message I wrote to you, some Lego tubes from the Millennium Falcon. I'm not sure about that particular comment, Grandpa Owen. And man, my screen just jumped. Christian Harry says, just a quick question. How do you find out if Amazon has a special sale on Lego? Real quickly, if you go to Amazon and you go to Deals of the Day, you can type in Lego under Deals of the Day, and it'll usually give you a good idea of what is on sale that particular day. I do a lot of searching, and then I also have a couple buddies of mine. Anytime they see anything that's cheap, they'll message me, and then that's usually how I post the stuff that's on sale, if that's your specific question anyway. And Brian is giving you the part number right there, Kyle. And right, okay, Greg got for this piece here, which is, like I said, the minifig accessory piece, which is what I'm using for the glass for the street lights, is the 25893. And no, I never do much cleaning when I'm live. That's what's bad about it. And thank you for that assist there, Easy Craftsman. And yes, it's very rare to be born on December 31st. You're absolutely correct. Anyway, though, guys, because I've been on for a while and I need to get my butt in bed, so I'm going to roll that beautiful bean footage before I see another question that I try to answer. And as soon as it starts going anyway. And yes, it would be even worse on February 29th because every so often your birthday gets skipped. But anyway, I wanted to quickly say a special thanks to all the people that supported the stream. And with that being said, I want to thank Paul W., Mr. Whipcracker himself, Kyle Dunbar, Matt Brooks Bricks, Brian LeBlanc, Kevin Waslin, Brickman, and 2 new members, which is Bricking It Up and John Hargrove. So again, thank you guys so much. I truly appreciate it and appreciate all the support. And I appreciate you joining the stream. I will be trying to ramp things up, hopefully, in the next week or 2 again. I know I've been very seriously lacking on videos here lately, but I'm trying to get a bunch of stuff cleaned up around the barn so I can be a little more organized. But again, real quickly, I want to say a very special thank you to Paul W., Kyle Dunbar, Brooks Bricks, Brian LeBlanc, Kevin Wasley, and I hope I said it right that time because normally